our economy could recover in 10 months or it could recover in 10 years. We're currently on a 10-year path, and I'm trying to change that. You see, our economy is very resilient because it's a free market economy, and we will find ways to innovate and adapt. But if it's slowed like it is currently slowed, and like the current funding plan is going to continue to make this withdrawal, it will result in a position where we'll never fully recover, and we will lose significant freedoms in our marketplace and in our lives. Now, this does only focus on Division A of the stimulus bill. It's all the discretionary spending. It does not include Division B, which is the Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment credits, or tax credits and unemployment payments. Now, if you voted for the stimulus bill and you think that the economy has shown some signs of recovery, then this is a good time for us to stop the spending because of the damage that it will do by borrowing so much money. According to Investors Business Daily, we've only spent $43 billion so far, and of the unobligated funds that are out there, it's about $650 billion that are unobligated that could potentially be saved through this legislation. Now, borrowing is a problem. Gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Wolf, told us about Ireland dropping their bond status now. The United Kingdom is on the verge of that doing the same. We're in line to do it as well in our current spending. China no longer is buying our long-term debt. And because of that, the Federal Reserve has gone out there and increased the money supply by, or the M2, if you want to know what the technical term is, by $1 trillion. Now, what that results in is inflation. And inflation is going to drive up interest rates. And when you add that to the unemployment that we have, it's a very bad problem that we can avoid. Now, our economy is driven by perception. That's evident in the stock market. It's evident in product sales. It's evident where we shop. Consumer confidence can boost our economy. It can, because they save and they spend and they invest. But Americans have been giving the stimulus, borrowing, and spending a vote of no confidence. And history gives it a vote of no confidence. I've included in your primer package a quote from Secretary Henry Morgenthau, who made it in May 1939, 70 years ago. He said, "We are spending more than we ever spent before, and it does not work." I say, after 8 years of this administration, we have just as much unemployment as when we started and enormous debt to boot. I've also included an article about the Japanese lost decade, how they've done the very same plan that we're undertaking now, and it caused their corporate profits to decline, their stock prices declined. They refer to it as their lost decade. They had less than 1% growth rate, a 10-year plan for recovery that we can avoid. Now, the legislation simply says that unobligated funds will not be spent. And if you look at what's out there, there's good reasons for us to withdraw this money. Georgia, for example, 2/3 of the money that they were allocated supports existing government programs. That's not an expansion of our economy. In Mississippi, only 13% is going for construction. Very little dedicated to expanding our economy. You know, we have borrowing money that we don't have creates a problem, and we can avoid that. What we should be doing instead is strengthening the dollar, and you do that by not borrowing so much money and withdrawing on some of this projected spending. We need to have a regulatory reform by allowing a cost-based analysis of all the regulations that we have on the books and the ones that are being proposed. That way we can avoid the 5% cost to our economy from growing. Regulations cost our gross domestic product about 5%. We can minimize that. We need to expand our trade with Colombia, with Panama, with South Korea. Those are pending. It's easy to do. We also need lawsuit reform. We've heard even today about how the legal community is holding back our economy and the problems that it's created. And we certainly need energy independence, because energy independence in America means more American jobs, it means a stronger economy, and it means a better national security. This whole plan allows us to grow the economy from the ground up, like it has historically worked, has been proven by history. So it's important that we move to this path of growing the economy from the ground up instead of the government down, because that will put us on a 10-month recovery plan and avoid the 10-year recovery plan that we're currently on today. I yield back the balance of my time.